Welcome to Boombostic Health, where we challenge the business of healthcare and explore bold ideas that drive meaningful change. Well, hello and welcome to another episode of Boombostic Health here in the wild. Today, I am joined by a really interesting guest who's been around healthcare his whole life, Matt Cox, who's heading up the digital value creation at Duke. Thanks so much for being here with me.
You're welcome. I'm excited to have this conversation.
Very cool. Well, as I shared with you a bit when we were getting ready here, that we created this podcast to put a megaphone on top of the innovations that are out there that are actually moving healthcare forward. There are a lot of people who complain about how bad it is, but I think that there's so much good happening in the world that's not getting out there. And here at ViVE, it's like the epicenter of all these innovators. And talking to me about your experience with Duke, which you've been there now for a few different journeys, the fact that you're now there in a position to be able to invest in promising innovation, even like startup, it sounds like early stage, but also you guys are into AI at a level that I really haven't seen. And we work with over 400 health systems where you've actually created your own LLM. I don't even know where to begin because I'm so excited about the things that you're doing. So maybe just quickly introduce yourself though, so our audience knows from, in your words, who you are.
Sure. Well, thanks for having me. Matt Cox. I am the Executive Director for Digital Value Creation. Interesting role at Duke that was developed so that we can think about how do we take our assets and the things that we build inside of Duke, leverage them, much like you talked about with our AI LLM, but all things digital. And so I'm really enjoying sort of learning constantly amongst my team members that are there. You know, we feed that AI capability with students from Duke University. So we've got computer science guys that are coming in and folks that are joining that team, and the innovation will blow your mind.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, I have to segue briefly a little bit on a tangent. So Duke is this fantastic healthcare system. And also it has a university that has sports that some people like, and it's got a basketball team. And I have to ask you, are you a Christian Laettner fan? Yes or no?
Ooh, no.
Oh, wow. Okay. He was just on the 30 for 30. And it was top of mind. I had to ask you. Thank you for humoring me.
So I'm going to tell you the reason why. So one of my good roommates from Davidson College was in Buffalo, and he was playing against Christian. Laettner broke his nose.
Oh, okay.
So like
right. So there's a personal
thing, like
issue there.
You know,
well,
I think there's something out there that says I hate Laettner. Right.
Yeah. Well, hey, if you can be successful enough in a sport that decades after you've last shot a ball, people are still talking about you.
My God,
that's pretty good. But that's a good 30 for 30. I really like it. All right. I won't ask any more questions about the UNC Duke rivalry. Getting back on task here, AI, nobody really knows exactly what they're doing yet, but people are working to meaningfully apply AI in regulated industries, healthcare specifically. There's a lot of promise there, but going into a generic GPT or something that isn't necessarily dialed into exactly what you're looking to accomplish isn't the path. And it sounds like you folks are really taking a very proactive approach to how you're creating this LLM that's intended to be applied in lots of use cases. Maybe talk about how that was decided, and then what are some of the examples? Because I think people need to hear more practically what is happening.
Yeah, it's a great question. And I'm going to go back a little bit into 2018 and our chief digital officer, Dr. Jeff Ferranti, who's a wonderful physician for the NICU, but he's also a tech geek.
Okay.
And in 2018, he led a foundational movement where we built something called EHRX. EHRX was fire APIs out of Epic. And how we think about exposing that data initially back in 2018 was really transformational to get us almost where we are today. Accessing the data, critically important. Being able to expose the data, critically important. But then a couple of years ago, we had a team out of our DHI, it's Duke Institute for Health Innovation, which has some of the
which you need to have an acronym for everything. That's one thing we need more of.
Yeah,
Okay.
right,
DHI.
right, yeah,
Okay.
we're really bad about it. So DHI set out to not only leverage EHRX, but also how do we build our own LLM? And the reason for that was we're a very conservative organization, right? We have a lot of rules around governance and compliance and, looking outside to bring something in with the power and the potential concerns that an outside LLM could bring was not something that was going to fly inside of the organization. So it sort of met Duke's requirement around safety, compliance, et cetera, because these tools are extremely powerful. And what was the Spider-Man comment? Like
with great power comes great responsibility. Yeah.
Right. Like
right. Yeah.
So like, we thought about that and we said, we need to build our own. Because we're going to throw it at a lot of use cases. Right now, we're tracking about 54 key use cases. And it's funny, right? Like, because in my role, I'm supposed to look at those 54 and be like, all right, what are we going to do first?
Right.
And so we run it through another piece of compliance and governance that we stood up about 2 years ago called ABCDS, which is another acronym. Algorithm-based clinical decision support. So anytime that you're bringing something in to Duke, it needs to follow and be tested from if it trips clinical decision support with clinicians, that also affects patient care. Let's make sure it's safe, secure, and compliant.
Right.
And so we have a team of clinicians and technology folks and compliance people that will sort of look at these tools and say, okay, does this give us any concerns about PHI and compliance? Is this going to be software as a medical device, right? Like, how do we think about this?
Yeah.
Is it going to introduce any bias or hallucination, whatever those, terms are for what we used to call bugs?
Right. Yeah. Is it going to go off the rails?
Is it going to go off the rails? Right?
Yeah.
Is it going to say something that we didn't necessarily mean for it to do? Right. It's going to influence somebody. And so, we built this platform called Scout. And Scout,
is that an acronym?
No.
Okay.
It's not an acronym.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. And so Scout is that tool.
Okay, Scout's the LLM platform. So have you seen some success with this? And are you purchasing GPUs and running all your own data center and everything?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we're concerned about it.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? Because you can imagine, imagine you run an LLM and you put it in batch mode, and next thing you know, you didn't write the right prompt.
Sure.
And it could go consume. The cash register could ring forever.
Right. For sure. Yeah.
So
that's non-trivial.
No, it's non-trivial, right? So you look at those things and you're like, whoa, time out, hang on. Let's crawl, walk, run.
Right. Yeah. So there's an optimization side of that. So is there a great story yet that you can tell related to this is one of those, oh, wow, this changes everything?
I have a couple.
Okay.
Well, our head of surgery had to produce a review of 200 pancreatic patients.
Okay.
Normally, he would ask a PA or a nurse practitioner, hey, I need you to go do a full chart review on these 200 patients because they were on some sort of protocol, right? As you know, we're a big cancer center. That would take at least a week or two. But with Scout, we were able to get that entire review of 200 pancreatic cancer patients done in less than 2 hours.
That is amazing.
So imagine, right? Like, and now we go from, having highly paid, skilled, folks that are doing chart review to now what they can do is they can just review the results and then they can validate and then they can move on, right?
Yeah.
And it takes some of that grunt work away.
Yeah.
They were blown away by it.
Yeah. And then is the work that's being done to review creating feedback back into the system?
It does.
Okay.
It does. Like, how do we do this better? How can we optimize it? Did we write the right prompts?
Yeah.
How do we tweak it in the future if we want to do it? We are thinking about developing batch mode capabilities. Like, how could I load a battery of patients into it? How do I use it to find patients that need follow-up and care? Management,
and closing care gaps that are out there. So talk to me really quickly about the pancreatic story with this Scout LLM. So it output this analysis. What was then done with that analysis that was output? What was the end objective of that?
So they needed it for review and compliance purposes.
Okay.
So
Okay. To make sure that the best
Right.
practices were
Right.
being followed, basically.
Right.
Okay.
And this happens pretty frequently inside a lot of systems, especially one that's academic. We're the
Yeah.
sixth largest academic research health institution in the U.S. right now. And so you can imagine, like, we're constantly having to review things, studies and protocols in our clinical research. And what the tool does, it gets us out of having to create those documents and more into using people at top of their license.
Got
This
it.
is the part
Yeah.
that we're super excited about.
Yeah.
Those the PAs or the nurse practitioners that were originally going to do it, they were staring at a tight timeline and disrupting their clinics and their schedules and things that they also did, because our clinicians also serve in teaching and research.
Right.
And so the outcome of that is that we didn't have to disrupt schedules.
Yeah.
We can put people back in front of patients, seeing patients and delivering more capacity,
Right.
which is what we need.
Yeah. Oh, no doubt. No
People
doubt.
moving to North Carolina, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
The secret's out, right? And so
Right.
we have a lot of growth and then capacity and access issues.
So you also play this role of venture capitalist. It sounds like, I don't know if you guys call it that, but
really,
you're
but
you're
yeah, right.
investing into innovation.
We do.
What's an example of that? How does that work? How do you get deal flow? How do you decide what to invest in? I have a fund called Health Cloud Capital, so do some of that work, and would be curious to know how in an institution like Duke that wants to move the needle, but also is somewhat conservative and careful. How does that work?
It's interesting. We've always had a very reactive approach. People would come to us and then we would maybe evaluate it, maybe not evaluate it. We would provide some benefit back to that company with no mechanism in order to retain some equity or get paid for that. And what we're really trying to do is sort of turn that around a little bit and start first with, what are our top challenges? Like, where are areas that we see that there are problems that we can address in the next 12 to 24 months? Things that might save us time, things that might save money, things that might help us grow access. And so what we've done is we've set about a prioritization of our current roadmap and said, what are some of our top big issues? Nurse turnover, major problem. So when you think about AI and virtual nursing, we run virtual nursing today with remote safety observation that has some AI in it, but it's not great. So what we're doing is we're looking at an AI company, and we've landed on one right now today. We're in diligence process, and we would like to partner with them. We'd like to make an investment in it. Could be $500,000, could be $2 million. It's not going to move the needle for the company, but it also helps us align two places. One, we align with the company, right? We're getting insights into them and their roadmap and their capabilities. And two, it's really helpful internally,
Right.
like, because I can tell people, if we need to do a case study, if we need to make a change in the system, remember, we're also investors in this company. So
Right.
It needs to be successful.
Right.
So
maybe it creates a little extra focus on the part of the people who have to execute, because technology is great, but unless you have people that are doing the change management and embracing it, it'll end up failing. So this is a way for you to align that incentive. Is there an equity component where you are return driven on the equity value side, or is it more about the impact it's going to make to your care delivery and your efficiencies?
I mean, I think it's a small fund right now today. It'll probably grow. We've made one investment right now that has been a great investment in Ambient AI scribing.
Oh, very cool.
Which is phenomenal. That's the fastest adoption I've seen of a piece of technology in healthcare ever.
Because it saves so much time, right?
It is. Well, that, and if you think about it too, it's such a passive deployment. right?
Right.
Use your phone.
Right. Yeah. It doesn't change it doesn't make you have to use a different computer or some
Actually, take the
workflow.
computer away.
Right. Get rid of the computer. And oh, by the way, at the end of the day, you don't have to sit there going through and entering in notes and stuff. It's just all captured.
Yeah.
And you're seeing that that's pretty accurate. It's working effectively.
It is. We're actually seeing a big uptake in productivity. And when we talk about this issue with the patients, right? The patients love it.
Mm-hmm.
The doctor's doesn't have a screen in between them. And
Right.
they're not sitting there clicking on something. They're having a conversation. They're having a routine exam.
Mm.
It's capturing things in the notes that you couldn't click on or do fast enough in a
Sure.
EMR. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and that was the big knock with the EHR when it first really became the standard, is that the doctor who used to sit there and look at you and talk to you would sit there and look at a screen the whole appointment.
Right.
They'd be frustrated. You would feel like you weren't really the focus. So that is another great use. And that's something where AI has actually been in use for a long time,
Yeah.
even though now AI is this in vogue thing to talk about.
We'll go back to the thing you would ask me, because I want to make sure I answer this. So we prioritize, I run a bunch of ROI models and impact models. So they're sort of initial business cases.
Okay.
Right. And we look at those business cases and we say, okay, these are all things that are issues for us, right? We've got nurse burnout, we've got clinician burnout and physician burnout. How are we tackling and thinking about these? And what are the available solutions in the market?
Right. Right.
And then, so we need to look at those and then sort of ask ourselves a question: how do we, what's available in the market? Can we go get them and bring them in? Another one, so one investment in ambient AI scribing. We're looking at making an investment in virtual nursing,
Okay.
as well as virtual OR, which is cameras in the OR, not virtual surgeons, but cameras in the OR to help us think about throughput.
Right. Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Workflow. Right now, we don't have people staying late.
Yeah.
Surgeries went over.
Okay. Yeah. Just by streamlining all the little things, and they all add up to a lot of big things. So
they do.
Yeah,
They do.
That is amazing. Well, I think what you're doing sounds like it's the right kind of model for a health system to engage in innovation. Do you publish any of the information about the pain points that you're looking to go solve for, or is it more just for internal evaluation?
We don't publish them. We're not shy about talking.
Yeah,
about
it'd be interesting. I would love to have that as a separate conversation, because there's way too much being focused on that's like a solution in search of a problem.
Right.
I think starting with, we know what the problem is, it's big time. So this is really fantastic work you're doing. I'd love to come visit sometime.
I would love to have you.
It'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So, and one final question. We're at ViVE here. We're the exclusive live podcast on the show floor, which is a lot of fun. What are you hoping to get out of ViVE?
Oh my gosh. I've sat and listened to some panelists talk. I was in two today. One was on, AI innovation, with Advocate. Couple of nuggets of wisdom that came out of that, which I really like. Bringing human factoring into all of this is incredibly important. So there's these new roles that are getting created, and I think people should get excited about that. Like, everybody's worried AI is going to take jobs. I actually think it's going to create jobs. It's just going to create different jobs.
Right.
And then ambient AI, I'm always willing to learn, even though we've had success deploying ours. We should be vigilant and looking at other solutions very continuously. So I like that. And then I've got the speed dating.
Right. Hey, which is actually pretty awesome. That's a feature that we were introduced to at Health, and it's really productive. I like that.
I'm very excited about everybody I'm meeting with. So,
well, thank you so much for being on Boombostic Health. It's really great to meet you, and I'll look forward to continuing the conversation.
You got it. Thank you.
Yeah. And thank you everybody for joining for another episode. We are here with Matt Cox, who is leading all of the digital transformation and value creation initiatives within Duke. Thanks so much.